Hey everybody, it is a great day for business intelligence. In fact, every day is a great day for business intelligence. Today we're going to talk about some common obstacles, maybe even some pitfalls that you might run into when you're implementing your business intelligence platform. All right, let's get started. Let's let the data speak. All right, so Gary Bryant, a good friend of mine and fellow co-founder here at ConradBI, wrote a blog post this last week. I thought it was interesting. He alluded that the IT group in his scenario where the business analyst was out fighting the dragon outside of the castle, and if you want to read about this, the link's below, but he alluded that the IT group was kind of holding the data hostage. They needed to lower the drawbridge. I thought this was a little funny because Gary's been in IT for over 20 years. I've been in IT for over 20 years. We're the guys inside the castle. So it was kind of funny to see him portray it that way. But the fact is, when you make that transition from a database administrator or even sometimes in your IS group into the BI side of things, there is a paradigm shift that happens. There's a shift that must take place in order for you to be successful. So when you're implementing a BI platform, you're going to work with your IS group, or your IT group, your computer group, whatever you call them, to implement your platform, and you're going to need them. And so what I want to talk about today are some common challenges that come up that hopefully, if we can share some insights today, will be beneficial in helping you work with them to get your BI platform established. Okay, so in a recent blog post, I talked about starting with a data lake approach, where you use a single BI tool to acquisition your data into the tool. You then model in that tool and you visualize in that tool. A tool like a Power BI or a Tableau. And that works great for your first project, but you don't want to stop at the data lake. You want to progress to having a central repository for your acquisition data. Okay, so what you're going to actually do is you're going to capture the data from source systems all over your organization, and you're going to put copies of that data in your acquisition layer. So you're going to make a copy of the data. Now, immediately, what's going to happen when you go to get the resources to make the copy of the data, you're going to get feedback sometimes from the business and sometimes from your IS group, your IT group, of why on earth do you need to make a copy of the data. And I want to give you some reasons why we want to do that will hopefully help you communicate to them and you can get the resources that you need. So first off, why would we make a copy of the data? We don't want to impact the performance of existing production systems. Okay, we're going to do potentially some heavy lifting. We're going to do some massaging of the data. We don't want to be hitting the data over and over again and impacting those systems. Okay, so you're going to make a copy of that data and you're going to get it in a central repo. Okay, what's another benefit for doing that? There's a term in the BI world called data lineage, and it has to do with looking at a piece of data on a report, okay, and being able to map that data all the way back to where the data was acquisitioned. Your data may go through a variety of layers before it ends up on a report, but you want to be able to tell the historical record of that data. You want to be able to look at that individual value when they say, where did that come from? You're going to want to be able to point back to the 20 different acquisition tables that were used to aggregate that data and come up with that sum or whatever the number is that you're calculating. What happens if a source system changes data? Maybe data that's not supposed to change. People are going to run the reports. They're going to see one value, and the next day they're potentially going to see a different value. And they're going to wonder why. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a copy of that data in the acquisition layer so that you can answer that question. And I'm going to say in your acquisition layer, you never want to actually physically delete data. As long as you can have the resources to do it, you want to logically delete data. The value of duplicating the data and also preserving the data in the acquisition layer is you can answer those questions of lineage. Okay, here's another great value in having that data duplicated. Some systems don't manage a historical record of values. Maybe you have a product in an online store and it's in a particular department, maybe a particular category of something like that on your online web store. And maybe your marketing group can move that product around. But at any point in time, you only know the current department it's in. Okay, that can be a limiting factor when you're wanting to do historical analysis because you don't know where that product's been. If you're actually acquisitioning the data and making a copy, you can keep a historical record of where that product's been, even if the source system doesn't have it. And that's a great value to you because now you can do what's called as was reporting. So you can give the user the ability to do analysis as the data is today, or do analysis as the data was when it was actually generated. That is super, super cool. You have valid reasons why you want to duplicate the data. Okay, and also disk space is cheap. Don't let that be an argument. I promise you the value you're going to get on the flip side is going to way justify any minimal costs at the beginning. Okay, so now we're going to talk about maybe one of the most controversial discussions you're going to have when you're implementing a BI platform with your database administrators. Okay, ideally your database administrators would provide a platform for you to bring data into an acquisition layer and run whatever processes you need to get them into dimensional models. But they may want to actually take a look at the structures. I was a DBA for 20 plus years. I remember the very first time that the manager came and said, we're going to implement a BI platform and we're going to use this approach. We're going to denormalize all the data and flatten it out. Some guy named Kimball. And I freaked out. I'm like, no, we're not. I have spent years building relational databases. I know how to get the maximum amount of performance out. There's no way on earth that we're going to denormalize the data. I thought the guy was crazy. You are totally nuts. And it sent me into this tailspin where nothing was right in the world. My whole universe was destroyed. It was always relational databases. And now you want me to denormalize? No! Okay, and then the magic happened that caused a paradigm shift within me. I took billions of rows of data and I loaded it into an SSAS, that SQL Server Analysis Server tabular model. And I put all kinds of dimensions around it and I loaded it in a Power BI, and my goodness, it was fast. It was so fast it blew my mind. There's like, this is magic. There's no way this is happening. Somebody's pranking me. I can't get this kind of performance out of my relational model. And then I learned the analysis tools are designed to accept flattened data. They use some technologies to make those highly optimized for analytics. It's really hard for relational database administrators to accept that. You're going to have to give them that aha moment. You're going to have to load the data and wow them. You're going to have to ask them to let the data speak and listen and see that the structures that you're proposing to support BI are actually designed for self-service analytics. I hope that what I've shared today is a benefit to you. Please like below. Please subscribe. Pop out to LinkedIn. Go out to our website and sign up. We've got an awesome tool that can help facilitate your BI platform. Our passion is to help businesses establish a BI platform that can help them improve through insights gained from their data. I really appreciate the time you gave today. I hope that it was a benefit to you, and let the data speak.